Welcome to another episode of the Money Wheel Podcast. The journey to wealth starts here with your host, Don Shade.
Hello, my friend and future millionaire. Welcome to this episode of the Money Wheel. My name is Don Shade. Now, in the last episode, we looked at what it would cost to buy back a weekend of your life. In other words, we're going to trade your overtime. And we already have the number of what it's going to take for you to buy back your life, replace your income so that you're comfortable. Those are all great numbers to have. But there's some other numbers that we need to look at first. Let me ask you this. What happens when you start making sales of the current product that you're selling now online? Let's say you make 10 sales. How much of your time is tied to those 10 sales? In other words, do you have a product that's fully digital and they can do on their own? Or is there work you have to do after you make the sale? Because what's going to happen is this. We know the numbers to get you out of a weekend overtime or what it takes to buy back your life. Now the things that we need to make sure of is, do you have the team in place to handle if you make that many sales? I say if now, but it's going to be when. It's just a matter of getting you coaching and showing you how to set up the ads and run the traffic online. The reason I have you build all these lists and go over all these numbers so that you know what they are off the top of your head is because once we have those numbers, the rest of it is just a matter of time. We can show you how to build the business you're looking for. But there are some things that only you can answer for you. And in this episode, we're taking the time to look at, okay, let's say it takes 100 sales for you to hit the monthly income that you're looking for. The main thing I want you to look at is what happens after those 100 sales. Do you have more work than you can handle? Or is it, okay, I can sell 100 of these, make the money, it's a digital product, here's their download, and I'm moving on to the next thing. If you have a business that it takes a lot of your time, in other words, your coaching or whatever the situation may be, when you start making those sales, what I want you to look at is look at doing some group coaching, as well as I challenge you to start selling products that don't take as much of your time. Because what happens is this. If it's products that take your time, then we need to get more money out of those products because you only have a limited amount of time. Even if you have a team that works for you, your team is only so big and you can only handle so many sales. So what I want you to look at is if you have a product that's a fully digital version, you're going to sell that product for cheaper because your time has already been invested into it and they can do it on their own without you. But if you have a product that requires you or someone on your team to do work, you need to sell that product for a lot more money because it has to be worth it when you're trading the time, your time or your team's time. That's everything I have for this episode of the Money Wheel. I just want you to think about what's going to happen when you start making a lot of sales. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Money Wheel Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like the podcast. For everything that was talked about in today's amazing show, go to moneywheelpodcast.com and get today's show notes, past episodes, and most importantly, you can connect with Don Shade on all his social media platforms. Again, at moneywheelpodcast.com. If you are just looking to email Don, you can email him at don@moneywheelpodcast.com. For a list of all our tools we use in our business, you can go to moneywheelpodcast.com/resources. Again, thank you for listening to today's podcast and see you in our next episode of the Money Wheel Podcast.